All right, Morgan, big win this past Friday night, 9-0 over a good defensive West team. Just how happy are you getting that win in that game that y'all probably knew was going to be low scoring going into it?
Yeah, we anticipated it being a very difficult struggle from an offensive standpoint for both sides. We feel like we have a good defense and West has a really good defense, so we knew we had to take advantage of opportunities when they were presented. So even though it was not a very exciting game for a fan to watch, we're very glad we came out on the right side of that one to start our season off. The boys grow up with each other, playing through the youth leagues and being so close with our school districts. That was a real big bragging rights game for our kids, so they were really up for it. So was West. A lot of good energy in the rivalry game. So we were very glad to get that win and get our season started off in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, you preach going into every season goals and getting those and attaining those, and so much can be lost possibly that first week. I mean, losing kids as far as their focus, and if they don't maybe win that first game, how important it is to get off on the right foot?
Yeah, it's extremely important. I think that's why so many coaches put a big emphasis on that very first game, because you've been working all winter and spring and summer, and it boils down to starting your season off. And if you can get a win under your belt, it just strengthens the buy-in from your players and supporters going into the rest of the year. So those first games are always very important for any program. And luckily, we were able to come out on the right side of that one.
You'll face Scott Cummings this coming Friday night. He's now down at Cleveland. You probably know what he does typically with his veer offense, but they didn't play in week one. How difficult does that make it for you guys game planning?
Well, for us, it makes it a little difficult because everything we're going off of is what they did in the preseason. He sent some scrimmages up to us to break down, and so we're trying to also go off of what we saw against them last year. And I think their offensive coordinator now is the head coach at Halls, so there's going to be some changes there. So it's not exactly an easy game to prepare for schematically, but at the same time, Coach Cummings is pretty consistent in what he's done in the past. It was a barn-burning game last year. It came down to the last drive, and special teams were a very big factor, so we're anticipating something very similar to that again this year.
Last thing, Colin Ironside looks like a completely different kid physique-wise. How much has he started to mature to become that 6'8" quarterback?
Well, Colin is a product of a young man who's worked extremely hard in the off-season, and he's got a lot of natural ability and gifts, and he understands that he can't let those go to waste. So what you're seeing when you see Colin is a young man who's, in my opinion, kind of a complete player. He understands that it has to happen in the film room, it has to happen in the weight room, and then you have to produce it on the field. And he's taking advantage of all three of those areas as far as how he's working to maximize it.